The WNBA doesn't want you to see this, but new video has surfaced that details the events that followed the most recent attack on Caitlin Clark. During the Indiana Fever's intense game versus the Connecticut Sun, Sophie Cunningham's protective instincts for teammate Caitlin Clark were made abundantly evident by her actions, which showed a deep loyalty that went beyond normal teammate relationships.
The greatest thing I saw tonight was Sophie Cunningham. Thank you, Sophie Cunningham was about to give. She's about to give her the Stone Cold Stunner, bro. I'm gonna put it right here, bro. She was gripping JC's shoulder and straight bumped her. She was straight grabbing her hair and was talking shit while doing it. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you become a teammate. That's a road dog. That's a real teammate, bro. See, what made me mad the play before, Howard, none of them jokers didn't stick up for Caitlin Clark, but that's how you stick up for Caitlin Clark. That's how you fight for your teammates. That's how you...
In addition to supporting her teammate during Tuesday night's game against the Connecticut Sun, Sophie Cunningham, the Indiana Fever's recently appointed enforcer, was physically restrained by to irritate Clark since their college days.
There's really people out here defending Marina Mabrey for Madden hit sticking Caitlin Clark to the floor, saying that she's just protecting her teammate. For one, it involved Caitlin Clark and JC Sheldon. They had their little spiel before that, and then JC Sheldon scratches Clark in the face, then invades her space after that. Clark pushes her away because of that, and then Marina Mabrey comes get involved, and Madden hit sticks her to the floor, man. And y'all just like she was protecting her teammate. But then Sophie Cunningham is getting called vile and disgusting for dropping JC Sheldon to the floor and dragging her by the hair. So Sophie Cunningham can't stick up for her teammate, or else it's vile and disgusting. But Marina Mabrey could get involved in something that didn't involve her, and it's just she was protecting her teammate. The Caitlin Clark hate is so forced.
Something different happened. Sophie Cunningham decided enough was enough after Caitlin Clark wasn't just arbitrarily fouled during...
Cunningham did exactly what the fuck needed to be done last night. And I love that for her. Because what y'all not gonna do, for one, Connecticut had no chance of winning that game, but what y'all not gonna do is decide to play dirty, to play violent, because y'all getting smacked by the Indiana Fever. Y'all had no chance they had no chance of winning that game anyway. So all they resorted to was just playing fucking dirty. And shit, Sophie Cunningham said, well, shit, that's why they brought me over here. So I'm about to do what they brought me over here.
The smoking gun tape captures the precise moment that Sun guard JCS Sheldon, who has been Clark's adversary since their college days, purposefully poked Clark in the eye during the third quarter. Clark shoved Sheldon away in agony. The Gambridge Fieldhouse audience erupted in alcohol when Marina Mabrey charged in like a bullseye, pushing Clark hard to the ground. That's when we saw it. Assistant coaches, who were aware of what was going to happen, grabbed Sophie Cunningham as she leaped from the bench with rage in her eyes.
When that play actually took place, Sophie Cunningham was ready to jump off the bench right then and there. Sophie was ready to jump off the bench right then and there. Look at this. Boom, Marina Mabrey gets it. And then what do you see right here? You see the picture. You see the picture on the left-hand side over there. Yeah, Austin Kelly holding Sophie Cunningham back. Hey, Sophie, we're I know you want to get after it. I know you're about that action, but you got to stay right here on the sideline. Seriously, no one can say Caitlin Clark isn't targeted. Girl just got poked to the eye, thrown to the ground, and was still given a technical foul. Marina Mabrey was not ejected. These officials are absolutely terrible.
Yo, Sophia, my apologies. You should have had the second jersey WNBA I bought. I did not know that you were so proficient in holding the back of a girl's head while talking shit to her. She defended Caitlin Clark from that flagrant foul, which they didn't call flagrant for some reason last night. And she had her titled up. And then the rest of the Don Imus crew came up and tried to, separate it and whatever. But let me just tell y'all this. Sophie Cunningham, thank you for defending Caitlin Clark. Somebody in the WNBA has to protect the brand, and it's not going to be the EBT members. So thank you for protecting the greatest female basketball player of all.
If you like, unlike WNBA officials, numbers don't lie. Sophie Cunningham's jersey has sold out on the league's website after she defended Clark, and this is fans are applauding and rewarding the one player who is willing to speak out.
In case you guys don't know yet, Sophie Cunningham's jersey, oh yeah, Fever fans spend that bread, folks. Sophie Cunningham's jersey, out of stock. Look at that, no size in stock. A small, a medium, a large, an extra large, a double XL. You're gonna have to get one custom made. Sophie Cunningham stands up for Caitlin Clark, and overnight, her jerseys are selling like hot.
On Wednesday morning, Stephen A. Smith and Monica McNutt made headlines with what may have been the most tone-deaf comment on a regular basis. They had the gall to say that Clark deserved the treatment because, wait for it, she's also somebody like Larry Bird was shooting the lights out and stuff like that, and we're just talking smack. Trash Smith said, drawing a comparison between Clark and Larry Bird. Caitlin Clark is also that person. To put it another way, the victim blaming is so obvious that it's almost comical. It's Clark's fault that she's being assaulted on public television.
You see her, you see a little shove here and there, you see her throwing a little elbow here and there, you see her talking smack. Caitlin Clark does this. So, on top of the fact that she can play, because the girl's a shooter, and she's an assist maven as well, leading the league in assists and stuff like that. She's special, 4th in league MVP honors last year, Rookie of the Year. But she's also somebody, Doggy, you will appreciate this, kind of like Larry Bird was. When Larry Bird shooting the lights out and stuff like that, but Larry Bird also...
I started talking to officials in the first quarter, and we knew this was going to happen. You knew this was going to happen. They got to get control of it. They got to be better, said Stephanie White, the league's response coach, who called out the officiating as the real crime here. The message was clear at this point. The officials weren't going to... Sophie Cunningham did just that with less than a minute remaining in the game, and the Fever leading by high clinch and carried to the earth.
Only the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore. Okay? She's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to go a little physical. And in last year, I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlin would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey, they didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age.
Flagrant 2 falls. But the message was clear. Mess with Caitlin Clark, and you'll have to answer to Sophie Cunningham. As Cunningham exited the court, the Gambridge Fieldhouse audience gave her a standing ovation, realizing that they were seeing the beginning of something unique, an enforcer who wasn't scared to risk her life to save the franchise's future. What enrages me even more about this tale is Cunningham will get a punishment for her actions, according to the WNBA statement on Wednesday. Marina Mabrey, who shoved Clark to the ground in the third quarter, only had her technical foul increased to a flagrant 2, which also entails a fine. The same penalty for 2 entirely distinct acts. Cunningham's protective reaction was judged to be equivalent to Mabrey's unprovoked attack on Clark from behind. If it attempted, the double standard would be even more glaring.